The FBI didn't just hire him. They built him. They gave him a code name. They taught him their most classified techniques. They paid him $1,000 a week to be their ghost, slipping in and out of the darkest corners of the internet. Untouchable, invisible, unstoppable. Then he turned everything they taught him against 200,000 Americans. And the worst part? The FBI knew it was possible. They just never thought he'd actually do it. This is the story of Max Butler, the man who single-handedly patched 48,000 government servers, including classified military systems, then used that same exact access to build the largest criminal empire in internet history. The NSA called what he prevented Cyber Pearl Harbor. Federal prosecutors called what he built a $52 million fraud machine. He called himself Iceman. And for 4 years, nobody could touch him. Here's why.
Meridian, Idaho, 1986. While other kids in this small town were chasing rodeo belts and Friday night football, 14-year-old Max Butler was sitting alone in the back of the public library, hunched over a Commodore 64 that nobody else bothered with. His parents had just divorced. He was splitting time between two houses that never felt like home. But this machine made sense. You give it a command, it responds. No drama, no disappointment, no lying. Within months, he'd already cracked the school district's password system, a dictionary attack, just running common words until one stuck. The answer was pencil. He didn't change his own grades, he changed random students' grades, C's becoming A's overnight, throwing the whole system into chaos for weeks. When they caught him, he said he was testing their security. They gave him 3 days suspension. He spent it learning assembly language. By 16, Max was running 3 separate identities on underground bulletin boards, trading exploits under one name, selling phone codes under another, building a reputation in a world where your handle meant more than your face. He learned to dumpster dive behind the local phone company, fishing out technical manuals that explained how call switching systems actually worked. Within days, he was routing his dial-up connection through 7 different states, a teenager in Idaho, invisible to anyone trying to trace him. But then came the chemistry lab incident. October 1989. Max steals magnesium strips and potassium permanganate from the school lab, not to build a bomb, but to create a theatrical flash effect for a hacker meetup he's organizing. Security cameras catch him leaving. A judge hands down 18 months of probation. His mother cries in the courtroom. His father doesn't show up. That night, Max logs into a hacker magazine's server and reads about Kevin Mitnick's latest arrest. He reads it 3 times. He's not studying Mitnick's crimes, he's memorizing the mistakes that got him caught. Fast forward to Berkeley, California, 1996. Max is surviving on ramen and stolen Wi-Fi, renting a room for $400 a month. But he's built something legitimate, a public database cataloging over 3,200 different attack signatures and intrusion methods. Security professionals across the country bookmark it. The FBI notices. Special Agent Nick Bennett calls him in January of that year. Just a conversation between professionals, he says, no paperwork. Would Max be willing to share what he knows about emerging threats? It feels like validation, like his skills finally serve something beyond destruction. For 2 years, Max feeds the Bureau real intelligence, Russian hackers targeting Bank of America, Chinese groups probing defense contractors, a Romanian crew moving stolen credit cards through IRC channels. Agent Bennett always picks up the lunch check at Fisherman's Wharf, always asks for one more favor. Then comes the vulnerability that changes everything.
January 1998. A critical flaw is discovered in Bind, the software responsible for DNS on roughly 80% of Internet servers. A buffer overflow so severe that any attacker could execute remote commands with full root access. The Internet Software Consortium releases a patch almost immediately. Nobody installs it. Max scans 45,000 government servers. 2% have updated. The Pentagon is exposed. So is NASA, the State Department, nuclear research facilities. He stares at his screen for 3 straight days, running the math. A single worm could cascade through the entire Internet's infrastructure within hours. A foreign government's hacker would find this bug eventually, if they hadn't already. So Max makes a decision that will define the rest of his life. March 12, 1998. From a Berkeley internet cafe, routing his traffic through compromised university servers in Sweden, Brazil, and South Korea, Max launches a worm. It spreads exponentially, finding vulnerable machines, exploiting them, then automatically downloading and installing the official patch. In 6 hours, 8,000 servers are fixed. In 12, 20,000. The Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, the Defense Information Systems Agency. He saves them all. But buried inside his code are 23 extra lines. After patching each system, his worm installs a hidden backdoor, a reverse shell that calls home to his server every 4 hours, giving him root access. He tells himself it's insurance, a way to verify the patches actually worked. The truth is heavier than that. He now controls more government computers than any hacker in history. 6 days later, someone notices.
The Air Force catches it first. Major Timothy Garrison at Bowling Air Force Base flags unusual traffic patterns at 3 in the morning. He follows the packets through proxies across 3 continents. The trail ends in an apartment in Berkeley, California. July 2nd, 1998. 3 FBI agents and Major Garrison knock on Max's door at 6 a.m. Max answers in a t-shirt and boxers, already knowing why they're there. He's been watching their investigation through his own back doors, monitoring them in real time as they traced his steps. Agent Bennett looks personally betrayed. The search warrant lists 15 computers. Max phones 16. The last one is hidden inside a modified PlayStation case. As agents catalog evidence, Max volunteers everything. The vulnerability, the servers he patched, the backdoor code, his reasoning. He talks fast, explaining how he prevented a catastrophe, how someone else would have found it, how that someone else would have worked for a foreign government. Agent Bennett cuts him off. You had root access on classified military systems. You could have started World War III. Max shakes his head. I stopped World War III. Someone else would have found that bug, someone working for the other side. The agents exchange a look. Bennett steps out to make a call. 20 minutes later, he comes back with an offer that sounds like a movie script. Become their inside man or face 25 years in federal prison. They'll pay him $1,000 a week plus expenses. They need someone who speaks the language of people the Bureau can't reach. Max says yes before Bennett finishes the sentence. They give him a code name, Equalizer. The irony of that name won't become clear until after he's destroyed everything they asked him to protect. For the next several months, Max is the FBI's most valuable weapon. He builds fake identities, infiltrates criminal crews, gathers real names and addresses and evidence. His first sting takes down a phone fraud operation responsible for $2 million in losses. His DEF-CON intelligence report runs 147 pages and becomes the most comprehensive map of the hacker underground the Bureau has ever seen. Then comes the Tim Spencer assignment. Spencer runs a legitimate security consulting firm in San Francisco. The FBI suspects he's maintaining hidden backdoors in client systems. They want Max to befriend him at conferences, wear a wire, record private conversations, build a case. But Max knows Spencer. They've had beers together, traded war stories. Spencer has a wife, 2 kids, a mortgage. This isn't catching criminals. This is destroying an innocent man's life. Max calls a lawyer and refuses the assignment. The FBI responds with a grand jury subpoena. When Max refuses to testify, they hit him with 15 counts of computer intrusion, conspiracy, and unlawful interception of communications. Each count, 5 years. Do the math. He pleads guilty, serves time at a minimum security facility in California, walks out in January 2003 with $25 in gate money and a felony conviction that bars him from every legitimate tech job in the country.
San Francisco, 2003. Max is couch surfing, picking up freelance coding work under fake names, cash only. Then he discovers the underground carding forums, Dark Market, Carter's Market, Scandinavian carding boards, where stolen credit card numbers sell for anywhere from $1 to $100, depending on the bank and credit limit. He understands this world better than anyone in it. He picks a new handle, Iceman, not after the Top Gun character, because, he later admits, he felt nothing when he stole. No guilt, no fear, just cold calculation. His first major breach hits Pizza Hut's point-of-sale systems, unpatched Windows XP machines running software from 2001. He writes a custom rootkit that intercepts card data in memory before it ever gets encrypted, then quietly uploads it every night at 3 a.m. 120 locations, 40,000 cards, 3 weeks. He partners with Christopher Aragon, a career criminal from Orange County who handles the physical side, encoding magnetic strips, managing shoppers, laundering money through casino chips and gift cards. They split profits 50-50. By 2005, Max is running botnets across 100,000 infected machines, using them to generate noise while his real intrusions slip through undetected. He hits a payment processor called Card Systems Solutions and walks away with 40 million card numbers in a single breach. The FBI investigates, arrests 6 people, never connects it to Iceman. But Max sees something bigger than individual heists. The underground carding scene is fragmented, 4 major forums competing for the same 6,000 users, full of scammers, unreliable vendors, and wasted potential. If someone consolidated everything, standardized quality, eliminated fraud between criminals, they'd own a billion-dollar shadow economy. August 22, 2006. Max's Tenderloin studio apartment is running at 95 degrees from 16 servers pushing heat into the air. 4 monitors, open terminal windows, SQL databases, live network traffic. He's spent 3 months mapping the vulnerabilities in every rival forum. Dark Market, unpatched SQL injection flaw. Talk cache, passwords stored in plain text. Scandinavian carding, the admin's root password is literally 123. Carter's Market,
default server credentials never changed. At 4:47 p.m., he starts the sequence. Dark Market falls first. He downloads 2,847 user records, then wipes the database clean. Talk Cache collapses by 5:13. Scandinavian carding at 5:41. Carter's Market fights back. The administrator notices and tries to lock him out, but it's already over by 6:30. 4 forums gone. Max sends a mass email to 6,000 addresses. Subject line, consolidation notice. He tells them their forum has merged with his, Carter's Market, under new management. Same username, same password. Existing disputes will be honored. He signs it, Iceman, CEO. The underground loses its mind. Forum admins scream about theft and betrayal and violated hacker ethics. Max responds with a 3,000-word manifesto calling them incompetent custodians and promising professional standards for a professional criminal enterprise. Within a week, $100,000 in transactions. By October, $30,000 a week in commission revenue. 8,000 users.
Success breeds paranoia. Max starts noticing things. A vendor called Master Splinter from Denver, selling high-quality luxury hotel card data, appeared 2 weeks after the takeover, earned trust quickly. But something is off. The writing patterns don't match any known carding voice. Transaction times align with government working hours. Max installs a keylogger to monitor every move. What he finds makes his blood run cold. Master Splinter is saving unencrypted messages, logging IP addresses, and forwarding intelligence reports to an external server. The FBI is inside his operation. But instead of banning the account, which would reveal that he knows, Max does something more sophisticated. He builds a parallel false reality within his own forum. He feeds Master Splinter fake vendor identities, dead card numbers, invented criminal plans, a complete mirage. He thinks he's outsmarted them again. He hasn't. What Max doesn't know, Master Splinter is one of 6 undercover accounts. The FBI has been inside his operation since the beginning.
May 2007. Bloomingdale's, South Coast Plaza, California. Christopher Aragon hands a clerk $7,000 in designer handbags and a stolen MasterCard. The magnetic strip reads perfectly, but the real cardholder in Vermont used the same card 3 minutes ago. Security tackles Aragon 15 feet from the counter. In his Mercedes, 147 counterfeit cards, an MSR encoder, a laptop with 80,000 card numbers, and a notebook listing Max's phone number. The FBI raids Aragon's apartment that afternoon. $60,000 in cash, 3 pounds of meth, 9 handguns, printed emails from Iceman. They flip Aragon's wife first. She faces 10 years. She has 2 kids. She gives up everything. Max's safe houses, his girlfriend's name, his daily coffee shop routine. Max reads about the arrest in a news article and immediately destroys his phones, wipes his drives, and loads his servers into a van. But his bank accounts are frozen within hours. His fake identities won't survive scrutiny. Every contact is potentially burned. He rents a furnished apartment at the Oakwood complex under a clean identity, Michael Anderson, 3 months cash up front, and tries to disappear. The Secret Service Electronic Crimes Task Force gets a surveillance warrant on Carter's Market. They can't find the server, it's hosted in Russia, but they can watch the traffic. Every login leaves digital fingerprints, and Max has one flaw in his operational security. He always logs in between 2 and 4 p.m. Pacific Time, always from within the same 10-block radius. Special Agent Michael Scheller's team narrows the zone using signal triangulation, identifies Wi-Fi networks Max repeatedly compromises. The Oakwood complex appears in their grid. July 15th, they position agents in surrounding buildings with high-powered antennas. July 29th, 2:17 p.m., they detect the signature. 4th floor, northeast corner. They've found him.
By August, Max has stopped eating. He's dropped 20 pounds. His girlfriend, Charity, finds him staring at walls, burning papers in the kitchen sink at 3 a.m., printouts of card numbers, transaction logs, forum data. She confronts him. He tells her everything. She stays. They both know what's coming. September 5th, 2007. Max wakes at noon, makes coffee, logs in to Carter's Market. $47,000 in overnight sales. He's typing a response to a vendor dispute when he hears footsteps in the hallway. Too many, too heavy, moving too fast. The door explodes inward. 6 agents, weapons drawn, screaming commands. Max raises his hands, fingers still hovering over the keyboard. 17 servers, 4 laptops, 138 CD-ROMs, 1.8 million stolen credit card numbers across multiple databases, representing $500 million in potential fraud. In the elevator, Max asks Agent Scheller how they found him. "You got sloppy," Scheller says. "Everyone does eventually." Max knows better. He ran clean operations for 4 years. It wasn't sloppiness. It was ambition. The same ambition that made him patch government servers at 18, that made him consolidate a criminal underground, that made him build an empire when he could have stayed invisible. He always needed to be the best. In February 2010, Max Butler accepts a plea deal, 13 years, the longest sentence ever handed down for hacking at that time. At sentencing, he stands 6'5" in an orange jumpsuit and speaks for 12 minutes, not about credit card numbers or dollar amounts, but about addiction. Not drugs or alcohol, the addiction to control, to watching millions of dollars move through systems you built from nothing, to being 3 moves ahead of everyone hunting you. He apologizes to victims he's never met and never will. He walks out of federal prison in 2021 into a world where cryptocurrency has replaced carding forums and AI commits frauds he couldn't have imagined. And the question that still haunts everyone who worked his case: was Max Butler a criminal who briefly helped the FBI, or an FBI asset who went rogue? The answer might be that those were never 2 different things.